Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Forts. Today we are doing another high level gameplay video and I'm going to be showing two games and in both of them I lost. Usually I'm used to people who can't deal with lots of machine guns, but what Narf does is he does something very sneaky, very smart. He's able to defend his machine guns so that what I was talking about last time in Abyss, all about map advantage, he doesn't have that right at the beginning, and it does cause some problems for him. But in the end, he's able to defend his machine guns very well in a way where I can't defeat them pretty much at all. Whereas my machine guns, because I rushed them so early, are left a lot more exposed, and we're about to see that. So one thing is knowing the hotkeys of Z, X, and C allows you to be able to immediately place a few of these things the second the game starts. For example, X lets you scroll through devices, Z lets you scroll through materials, so just pressing X once and clicking means you get your first mine down the second the game starts, which makes the game much easier. Now let's see. So the way he sets up his base, like I said, is very... Let me just speed up this beginning part because it will be a little bit slow to start with. But like I said, how he sets up his base in the beginning is very smart. He is able to set it up in a way where everything is well defended with sandbags. As you can see, he's using sandbags very efficiently, and he's also building up his base in a way where my mortars usually won't be able to hit that often. Now, this was a very close game, I will admit. It was only right at the end when he started to get more and more mortars out and my machine gun started to die more and more, it started to become a loss for me. When he got two machine guns out and he just kept on killing all the machine guns I had, after a long time I just couldn't keep up, and we're about to see that. So he does get the mortars out right away, but another thing he does is he slants the secondary mortars, which I think is also very interesting. Now I do my normal strategy on vanilla. That was my mistake. This strategy is built to win quickly and effectively against most people. Narf, however, is not most people. He's probably one of the best people I've ever faced in this game, hands down. And, you know, I need to practice a little bit more, obviously, because if I don't, then Narf could very well take my title away of best Forts player, which would not be a good thing in my eyes. Although it is nice to have somebody there to do high-level play. Anyway, this game is going by very quickly. Let me just slow it down quickly and explain what's happening. So at this point in the game, triple mortar, like I usually do, and a lot of machine guns to defend from his, but also these machine guns are having problems staying alive. And that's because his machine guns are set up in a way where they're all very well defended. Now, throughout this entire game, I do a very good job of shooting the sniper at all his machine guns, taking care of them, and just constantly firing my mortars. But this strategy is meant to get to this point and then stop. There's nothing else you can do with this strategy. You can't expand on it. You can't really do anything else with it, and that was my mistake. I don't account for long games, and that is why I lost. Now, as you can see, Narf has what can be 6 mortars and enough machine guns to defend from most things. Now obviously, he could be placing more machine guns in different places. And as you can see, my mortars do hit, but like I did say, I do end up losing in this game, which really pisses me off because I am a very competitive person. So my sniping skill is not 100% here, obviously. I do wish I was a little bit better at sniping, but I also did get that minigun out hoping I'd be able to deal with some of what he had a little bit better. Obviously, the answer was no. And eventually, this is just, again, another back and forth, and he slowly builds up. But like I said, my strategy isn't meant to go much farther than this. And again, another thing is, a lot of my machine guns and weapons are very exposed, because this is meant to be a very efficient and quick build to win you the game quickly. It doesn't account for people who properly defend, because so far nobody has used sandbags very well. Nobody has used sandbags to the point where they can defend all their machine guns extremely effectively. They're not invincible, obviously, because I do take out a lot of them, but it is very hard to take out the opponent's machine guns. So using sandbags to defend your machine guns, very good idea. because that makes it so they are much harder to hit, and at the same time, yeah, so they don't die as quickly or anything, which is very nice, and obviously something I'm gonna have to incorporate into my own strategies. There's quite a few things that I have incorporated from other people, and this is one I definitely plan on doing because obviously it is superior. As you can see, it is doing a very good job of keeping all the machine guns alive much longer, albeit at the lack of something better. Okay, so here's probably where I could have taken the game right here. This is where I could have taken the game. If I'd been more active on my mortars and just constantly fired my sniper, I probably would have won. But another thing is, there's just so many things to manage at once. I had to fire the snipers, the minigun, the mortars. It is too much for me. I do not have the APM to keep up with all these weapon groupings, meaning I did miss my opportunity to kill these mortars when the sandbag was down. Trying to deal with these machine guns constantly. It was just constant having to deal with all that. Now, like I said, I will have to incorporate this somehow because this does look like a very effective way to deal with most problems as well. His base is even more stable than mine, even though it's going much higher, although I doubt that back brace is doing much, but at the same, like, it's probably very stressed, but at the same time nobody really hits the back of the base, so that is probably for the better. As you can see, the front of his base doing very nicely. Now, like I said, a lot of problems taking care of all these machine guns because they're just so well defended compared to mine, and then eventually he just got so many mortars that I couldn't keep up anymore, and I eventually did succumb, which sucks. I will admit, I do not like losing at all, but you know, it happens, and it makes it more interesting when it does, because 400 hours of just winning, it gets boring, so it's nice to see, although I hope my title doesn't disappear too quickly. I was enjoying it. Now let's see. And yeah, I just couldn't keep up at this point in the game, and as you can see, very quickly, the game does come to an end. Let's see this in just a second. And yeah, there we go. This is where, yeah, GG, I think. And I can't keep up. All my weapons are dead, and he just did too good of a job of keeping up with all this in a way where I couldn't really do much about it. Let's see. Here we go. And the game has ended. So I'm going to jump into the next replay here in just a second. And in this replay, I lose again, but for the exact same reasons. I build up in a way that's meant a lot more for rushing and dealing with whatever your opponent has, but obviously Narf has been practicing quite a bit. Again, I'm not used to opponents who are able to defend up very well, so I do lose quite quickly, and you'll see here in a moment. He is able to do the same thing with the sandbags and the machine guns, and I just put machine guns all over the place, and I lose because of that. I have too many exposed machine guns, and he does his machine guns in a way where I can't really kill his. And I do try. He does put all his machine guns in a way where if I put my mortars down here, he would not be able to hit. I did attempt to do that, but what I needed was just a better machine gun defense. If I had his machine gun defense mixed with my mortars, I probably could have easily taken the game. But again, I need to practice on a few maps and figure out a few ways to actually make defended machine guns, because I'm not used to that. That's not something I'm very familiar with. And obviously, like, literally no armor goes down for Narf. He only places double sandbags, which I do kind of agree with, and I do need to practice that a little bit more. And this is where he starts getting a lot of mortars out. Now, he does have the machine guns, but like I said, if I had just gotten the mortars out down there and maybe a lot better of a machine gun defense, I probably could have done a lot better. But I spent too much time dilly-dallying. Let me just mute this, because I know there is a lot of texting that does go on. Now, again, this is just a little bit of a build-up phase, and this is where it first... Okay, so this is where it first starts happening. He starts shooting those machine guns, these two machine guns, where he can take out all my weaponry, but I can't take out any of his. He has all this, and I never even got the mortars out because I did attempt to get them down there, but that never really worked because it's just, again, so many APM syncs with rebuilding the machine guns, shooting the sniper, building stuff. It's impossible to keep up with all of it all at once. So let's see. A lot of more wind turbines and 2 batteries. So I'm curious, was he going... He must have been going straight into heavy mortars, and he realized he would need a lot more energy to do that, especially keeping up with all the weapon firing. And he never got a sniper. That's something he does not like to do. He never gets snipers. That is a personal choice on his part because he says he's not accurate with them. I can relate quite a bit because I'm not too accurate with them either. I usually just keep on firing with them until I hit something, which usually works out quite well. But he doesn't need the sniper, obviously, because he does a good job using the machine guns to deal with everything for the most part, as you can see. And this is where I kind of realized it's a good game. A lot quicker of a game than I was expecting, but I was trying something new, like such as just going straight down for that and building the machine guns. And obviously, again, my mistake was leaving all the machine guns so exposed. If I hadn't left them all so exposed, I probably could have taken this game, but not quite. Now let's see. And this game does end quite quickly from here on out. Let's see. So yeah, he does have 5 mortars at this point, which is very hard to defend from with only this many machine guns. And at this point, I do believe we are just sitting around talking because I have said GG and I have lost. No point on continuing a game that was lost. Because if I already know I'm going to lose a game, I just like to quit, because generally I don't like wasting time on things that are guaranteed loss. And this is where I die. Yeah, so like I said, mistake being I left the machine guns out, and he just did a better job than me at defending his machine guns. So obviously I do need to take a few of the tips here and incorporate them. Other than that, I hope to be playing with Narf again in the future because it is very entertaining matches, at least for me to play and to commentate, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to see more of me against Narf, leave your feedback below. I'll probably upload at least a few more. And on other news, the tournament is also coming up soon this Saturday. More prizes have been added, more people that join, the more I can do with the tournaments. I had this entire spiel at the end of the last episode, so I don't need to say it all again. But I hope you guys all join because it is a great time. And if you're here from the future, then hopefully the tournaments are still going on. You can join them then too, because that is a fun deal. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in future episodes. Bye-bye.